Another S2000 for you. 2005 with tan interior. This is what we used to call a unicorn, but we've actually seen 3 since, so it's still pretty rare. He's getting full maintenance, and what's crazy is this guy came all the way from Niceville. If you know where Niceville is, it's about the furthest point in Florida you could possibly get. That's actually a nice touch. You don't see those anymore. That looks really cool. So it's in the Panhandle. One thing I'm gonna do, I didn't mention it to him, and he ain't gonna see this until he looks at the video and he goes, wow, you did that. It can be really tough to get that green off the tires. It makes a big difference when we do it. So we're gonna do all the maintenance, and we're gonna do that for free just because it bothers me as soon as I look at it. And when he watches this video, he's gonna pause it, he's gonna go outside and go look and come back and go, wow, he made the tires nice and black again. This would be a good time to request a sponsor. So we don't have a cleaning sponsor anymore. Our last sponsor left us. But if you want to put your name on our ads and in our videos, we will gladly support you. We always do. We have our work order, but we like to have a visual checklist. It's kind of like an order of the way we do things. Plus, it's nice to see a completion and go over and check everything. So 75,000 miles, 75,600. Of course, oil, brake and clutch flush, coolant. You can read the rest anyway. We'll show you this as we go. Look how nice this car is. Even the driver's seat, bolster is perfect. Interior looks beautiful. So I remember, I've said this so many times on the videos, but I remember the words of my dad. How many shops does he pass to get to you? And of course my dad doesn't get it, because my dad uses his car just like transportation. It's just a car. I mean, he's an engineer by trade, but to him, car is a tool. It does the job. It doesn't break. If it breaks, you repair it. You don't obsess over it like I do. And some of the customers that bring your car to us, because that's why you bring it to us, basically. So I got to remember that. Someone's drove, I'm saying 6 hours. I've driven that road many times up to Milton. It's a good 6.5 hour drive, and it feels like it goes on forever. While you're driving, you could be thinking of all kinds of things of, why am I going to see this guy that's upside down? And what makes this guy so special? Should I just turn around and go back? So when someone has made that kind of drive, you gotta make sure you go above and beyond. Not just the things that he's paying for, but a few things behind the scenes, which is the kind of thing that we talk about. And a few others. That's been changed, that's been changed, that's upside down, that's rusty. Nothing huge. A little bit of more play in there than we like to see, nothing crazy. But let's start draining the fluids. We'll see how she looks. Do a look underneath, see if anything stands out. He wants us to kind of do a visual, see if there is any leak in shocks or anything like that. So I'm just giving you kind of a look over. I want to put the camera down in a minute and look it over a little bit more thorough, but don't see anything immediately obvious. That is really common to see that bar bent. Seems like almost every single one of them gets that the bar tagged.
A pretty recent engine mount.
Yeah, they do look new, don't they? It's got an aftermarket clutch line for the slave. It does have the factory slave on it though, but a braided line.
Yeah, looks like the Clutch Masters one. It's got that nice brass block.
Yeah. A little bit of leaking from that gasket, nothing bad. It's not too bad. Don't see any leaks from up top. UK mod. Does have braided steel brake lines. So this car has been modified a little bit, lightly. It's got rolled fenders too. They're nicely done though.
Not the original nuts. There's a washer behind this one and like one of those multi-layer gaskets.
Yeah.
So it's got some kind of catback on it.
This is something we'll talk about in the future. This one ain't bad, but these start to get really bowed through here. This one ain't bad at all. checklist: oil and filter, diff, trans. We did do the royal purple. Reason we do this is it's a nice visual checklist. Also, we're going to do a shifter rebuild. This is one of the most rewarding things that you can do yourself. Very easy, but it really does make a difference. Makes the car just feel new again. Tightens up that shifter a lot.
That's loose. Also loose.
You can actually see that one. So there is a procedure to set these up. It is in the Honda book. You can't just put it on the base as you would think. As you see how far this one is away on the exhaust versus the intake. Honda has a specific order to do these and make sure they're absolutely perfect. They're very sensitive to valve adjustments. We always go on the looser end of the spec, but it's very critical to get them right. Fluid, before we go too far into it, just going to check the clutch master and make sure it's not leaking before we spend time flushing it. Look how nice the inside of this car is. Look at the carpet. So up here, see there, no leaks. Right there, that thing is perfect. So we actually modified our injector machine. It has a Bumber pump in and adjusted the fuel pressure a little higher so we get a little bit more fuel through it when it comes to cleaning them. Sometimes a bit more high pressure. Makes a difference. I've actually had a really good look with this stuff. You can use the fuel injection cleaner that comes with the kit and run it through 2 or 3 times. However, we found putting this directly in the injector and run it a couple of times actually does the best. This stuff really does work well and it's easily accessible at the parts store. Mint set of balanced injectors.
Yep.
Also a cleaner on the outside. Okay. I've shown you this 1,000 times. I won't show you too much, but shifter rebuild, it includes a lot of this stuff. There was no foam in here at all, so it's going to be kind of noisy without the foam. Our rebuild kit now comes with a spring, everything included to rebuild your shifter. Wanted to take the time to show you the mold in here. So we sell it in the store. We sell a lot of it. We've managed to get a lot from Honda. The gray and the black. This is what it looks like on white. Typically the white one would have had the gray mold in, same as the yellow, just so it doesn't stand out as much. But honestly, I like the way it looks in black. I think the contrast in black and white is just a really classic look. But keep in mind, we do sell it in gray and white in the store. Like I say, I wanted to show you what it looks like in white. In fact, here's another one shipping out right now. Again, we sell so many more black than gray, but the gray does look good on white and yellow. Last thing is just to do the coolant. We're draining it right now. We're going to flush it, put fresh in there, and this is ready to go. We can call the customer, tell him everything on his list is done, and he's got a fresh bill of health. We'll come back to this here in a minute. On the video's a minute. For us, it's tomorrow. But this one is next on the list. So we always say it's one car at a time, which these are overlapping, but that's the next car. That's the LHT CRX. Let's go take a look. Ready?
It'll drive.
That's better than us pushing. Let's see how good he launches it. It's cruise control, look. Look, that's magic. That's traction control set to level 10. Remember we had a guy come all the way from somewhere and he wanted coilovers?
Yeah.
And the car was limping here.
It barely pulled in.
And it was misfiring and stuttering and shutting off. He goes, nah, just the coilovers. I go, it's running on 3 cylinders. It needs other things. This could need other things too.
I think it has a laundry list of things.
Okay.
This is a 1-day car, so. This is Michael Sullivan. That's our 2-day car.
Okay, well, we'll go through his list. If it needs the other things, we can suggest it. We don't want to sell him anything he doesn't need. but if it needs it, we should recommend it. Definitely some scorching in there. And of course the flywheel too. The flywheel has a pretty good step in it. And as you see, it's just toasted. So it's unfortunate. We're just gonna have to put a new flywheel in there so it's gonna work right. Of course, it did have a Nietzsche bearing, which is good, but we're gonna replace that as well. And of course the seals, both seals are bad. You can see how that one's been leaking. We have to do this to pull them. Our puller doesn't work now. We actually have a puller that goes into the sides, but again, it was leaking a little bit. Wow, that is awesome. Who sent that?
I don't know. I haven't even opened it.
We're soon going to put our ZC Integra faucet up there. We now have a paper towel dispenser. Look at that. That was Esther's asking. So we're seeing just a slight correlate. There's evidence right there on the alternator. But just there, that hose looks a little sketchy. Is that already wet?
Not really. It's kind of, you know, jellied dry.
Yeah, well.
It's not fresh yet, but it doesn't have any pressure on it yet either.
No, exactly. It looks a little sketchy. Now be the time to do that. So we're just starting to fill it up and notice that. So I guess we'll replace that. This has all been replaced anyway, but always best to be safe. 75603. The shift knob is huge. It's probably the biggest shift knob I think I have seen. He's probably used to it though. The adjustment is nice. The car is super smooth. Let me show you it outside. Still something about a white S2000. I have a red one. I still love red, but white, honestly, it's just like white looks good on everything. Rear view camera. Just kidding. S2000s don't come with rear view cameras. That one's next. So remember we did the wheels? Did the wheels and tires. How nice and black they look. Beautiful car. Beautiful. I think he'll be real happy. We'll call him. Tell him it's done. Look how nice that is in there. Really, really nice. If it lets down as this top. It's a Robin's top. Doesn't fit real well here. They're notorious for the glass falling out of them. The material kind of looks like velvet. If a cat lays on there, cat hair stays on it. You're not getting it off. It's small over here too. Metal sticking out there.
Yeah, I don't know why that's not covered. Like, did it rip through, or is that just how they make them?
No, I've seen Robins before and it usually fits. They're just, like I said, people like this because it's thicker material, but there's a few reasons we don't. You're gonna do the honors?
Yeah. You didn't do that before.
No, this came in on a truck. Clutch was completely wiped out. And it sucks, but I did record and it didn't stay. I don't know what happened. I don't know if my phone just booted it out or what happened, but George hit the key and started it and released the clutch all the way and it just crept forward. And that needs a replacement. That's not going to stay in there. But it's done. We can call the customer and let him know it's ready to go. George's going to go take it for a quick test drive, make sure it's happy, and he's going to finish it off. He wants to do some work with his son, a little bit of father and son maintenance, but now it runs, he can do that. Yeah, well, come on, Esther. See, Esther doesn't just sit in the office.
There we go. Got it.
They had to have been assisting a little bit, right?
I don't think so. We're both pushing there pretty good.